My mother named me and gave me a tongue twister at the same time. So before we start, can I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're meeting on, the Narrama people, and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging. And I'd like to also extend my, extend that to all Aboriginal nations that are present, their future generations and their connection to country. So, in this age of social media and all the ways that we can engage people, it is amazing just how much information is on the web. But there is nothing like coming up and engaging underneath the Pilbara sky like tonight. This is just fantastic. So I want to thank the KDCCI for giving us the opportunity to host tonight and to engage. And I look forward to talking to people tonight. Now, can I ask a favour though? Can you come closer to me? Because I know the bar is down that end, but at least for the next few minutes, I want to engage closely and we'll have a conversation. So, folks, this is a really big year for Woodside. This month, we celebrate 30 years of LNG exports to Japan, 35 years of domestic gas production. But what is really more exciting is that as we look to our Burrup Hub vision, we're looking at more than 35 years in front of us. So I propose to give you tonight an update really in 3 parts. I'll give you an update on our projects, some background on some of the things we're doing in the community at present, and then importantly, for this audience, what is the opportunity that this represents for small business, and small business specifically in Karratha and in the city of Karratha. So let's start with the projects. So we propose to bring the Scarborough resources to the Pluto LNG facility, and Woodside has already started our front-end engineering and design activities for that offshore facility. To develop those resources, we are going to expand the Pluto LNG facility, and work is already underway for the second LNG train at Pluto. We're delighted to have representation here tonight from Bechtel, the contractor, our lead contractor for this work, and joining us tonight will give people the opportunity through today and tomorrow to engage. We also propose to bring the Browse resources, the 900 kilometres through subsea pipeline to their northwest shelf facilities, and that is the Karratha gas plant. It makes a really good commercial project because we're bringing those resources down to utilise the emerging capacity at the Karratha gas plant and provide a really cost-effective approach to LNG production. We're also proposing to build an interconnection between the Pluto and Karratha gas plants to create an integrated 7 LNG train facility where we can optimise production on the Burrup Peninsula. And finally, as we build the Burrup Hub, we are also planning to reduce our emissions intensity on the Burrup and improve our energy efficiency. So we're also looking at extending and including options for solar energy and high efficiency gas engines to power our facilities on the Burrup into the future. So the scale is really big. What we want to do is big, but it's also pretty simple. In scale, when you think about it, we are developing 20 to 25 TCF of reserves, which is more than all the volume that has been produced through the Northwest Shelf facilities to date. Our investments will upgrade and connect the existing Woodside operated facilities and bring new resources through them. So while it's bold, I said it's also pretty simple, because what we will be doing is not going to be the same scale of onshore construction as we had when we built Pluto Train 1. We're using largely existing facilities. The direct economic contribution from these projects is likely to be huge, amounting to more than $40 billion that's Australian dollars, of expenditure in capital, and it's comparable to the expenditure associated with about 200 of the health campuses that have just been built in Karratha. That gives you some sense of scale. The jobs in construction would provide a welcome boost to employment, but I want to stress this point. It is even more significant that these resources will extend our operations for many years to come, and sustaining the employment and the contracting opportunities for decades is about building our record for the next 35 years and not just the short period of construction. So to the second point, our plans will ensure a vibrant future for this community. That is, this community we have grown up with it over 35 years, and it's amazing to look at the changes just through the last 5 to 10. We particularly want to ensure that the Indigenous community benefits from the opportunities through training and employment and from Indigenous business participation in the Burrup Hub. We recognise the incredible heritage value out on the Burrup, and we will continue to work really closely with traditional owners in order to ensure that industry can coexist with the rock art on the Burrup. One key element of our commitment to Karratha is our recent change to our residential strategy that we outlined to our staff just a few months ago. We're already a majority residential workforce, but we want to go further. We will be transitioning to a predominantly residential workforce in Karratha by the mid to late 2020s. And we're also enabling our employees to buy their own home. This means more of our people can take part in the community of Karratha. We think that's not only the right approach for the community, but also it's for the well-being of our people, and it's also good for the safe, reliable, efficient operation of our facilities. So as part of our commitment to the community, we've also developed a local jobs portal, open to all Karratha employees and employers, and aligned with the city's vision to grow the population. So since the portal was launched last June, we have had more than 1,700 people register on the portal. We've had more than 350 jobs advertised, both in jobs and in training roles. And that includes just recently 49 jobs advertised in our maintenance, operations and logistics, supporting the Burrup Hub vision. So we're also building our workforce through our production training academy. And this year we're including 58 new apprentices and trainees. And we've just opened up, and if you read the Pilbara News today, the advertisement is in there for the traineeships and the apprenticeships for 2020. Now I also want to mention tonight one of the highlights of the last couple of years, and that is that during the past 2 years, through the Northwest Shelf Project's home refurbishment programme, our head contractors H&M and Pindan have engaged 24 local subcontractors. We've had 51 Indigenous employees on the upgrades, and we've just finished the first 200 houses. So in celebrating the first 200 houses, and we had a bit of a celebrate, I want to give a shout out tonight to those local businesses that have been involved. Karratha Cabinets, Majin Construction, All Round Plumbing, Poinciana Nursery, Pool Mart, Cold Point Refrigeration, Jups Floor Coverings, Karratha Glass, DB Plastering, Northwest Construction Services, Home Hardware and Thrifty, Atom Supplies, Yura, Galvin's Plumbing, Tony's Ceilings, Coral Coast Electrical, Shelf Cleaning, Indigo Cabinets, Dampier Plumbing, Reese Karratha, Harvey Norman Karratha, and Instant Bins Karratha. So thank you to all of those companies, and we'll be continuing to upgrade the next 200 houses by the end of 2020. So, to my last point, what does the Burrup Hub mean for small businesses in Karratha, and how do you get involved? And to this point, we know that we have more to do, and we want to build more and deeper connections to the small businesses in Karratha. We need to understand what your capabilities are and how we can work together. That's why we've set up the workshop tomorrow with Bechtel, and where you can come, share your profile with us, ask any questions that you may have, not only about our projects, but about our operations. We will have representatives there from Woodside and Bechtel. And this is our very first Burrup Hub supplier workshop, and it's being held in Karratha. And that is not a coincidence. We are very proud of the local content that we have spent on. In just 2018, in Woodside operations, we spent $3.9 billion. 84% of that was local. 84% of that. But there's local in WA. 84% of that spent in WA. But we also recognise there's more to do for local, and to increase the spend and the participation here in the Pilbara. For that reason, we are engaging early, and we want to work with you not for a short period through a period of construction, but in order to maximise the participation in the long term. It's the spend that happens year on year and will go for 35 years or longer that really builds capacity, opportunity for businesses here in the Pilbara. So, if you have any questions about Woodside or Bechtel's activities, I encourage you to come and speak to us and take this opportunity over tonight, but also through tomorrow. So I'm delighted to introduce some guests. And so let me call out a few people in the crowd. First of all, Luke Walker, to my left here, from Bechtel Contracting and Procurement. Derek Albert is in the crowd somewhere from Woodside's Contractor and Procurement. Derek, otherwise known as Jig to many, will put up his hand somewhere. I just can't see because of the lights. Hi, Jig. You're not supposed to be near the bar, Jig. Up this end. And lastly, can I introduce Braden Lonnie, who will be plant manager at our Northwest Shelf facilities starting on the 1st of June and doing his handover, and very definitely part of the local community. So as I said, we want to hear from you, and we want to make sure that through the construction phase, but really through our extended operations phase, we maximise local supply chain opportunities. Okay, so our advice for contractors looking for work out there is please maintain a current, accurate profile on the various business databases that are used in our industry, not only by Woodside, but by our major resource sector companies. The profile needs to outline key strengths, competencies, and experience. And we're talking about the ICN Gateway, that's also used by our major contractors to advertise scopes of work. So it's not just about what you're capable of, but that's where you will find out the work that's coming up for our major projects. And then, of course, for Indigenous businesses, the Aboriginal Business Directory of WA and Supply Nation provide opportunities for work too. So in closing, thank you for coming tonight. Please come and talk to us. We hope many of you will attend through the networking opportunity tomorrow. And what I might do now is ask Luke Walker from Bechtel to come up and give us a little bit on the status of the discussions that they've been having with people right now. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to talk to most of you before I leave tonight. Thanks.